through week 13. And the results of week 13 has brought up these scenarios for a championship weekend with for the Power Four. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's begin with the ACC. As we mentioned, SMU by the win of by blowing out Virginia. They have clinched a spot in Charlotte, North Carolina for the ACC title. Now there's only one spot left, and two teams are fighting for it: the Clemson Tigers and the Miami Hurricanes. Clemson is 7-1. They don't play no more conference games. Miami has one more conference game left, and we'll preview it later. But here's how this would go: Miami beat Syracuse this weekend. It's SMU versus Miami in a title game. But if Syracuse beats Miami, SMU versus Clemson in the ACC title game. That is simple as it can be. Simple, not easy. I'll explain why when we preview Syracuse and Miami at the Dome. The Big 12, which is very complicated. And yes, as you see, you see 9 teams in here, okay? You see Iowa State, BYU, Arizona State, Colorado State, Kansas State, Baylor, Texas Tech, TCU, and Virginia. Now, here's the thing. None of these 4 right here, from Iowa State down to Colorado, none of these 4 play each other this week. That's why these other 5 teams down here are important as well. But we're going to focus on the 4 at the top here: Iowa State, BYU, Arizona State, and Colorado. Because these are the 4 we're going to pay attention to, because 2 of these 4 is going to make the championship. It'll take some miracle if somebody from 5 all the way down to 9 to make it. But we're going to see. And here's what we have here. If there are 2 teams that go, of the 4, as you said at the bottom, Iowa State, BYU, Colorado, and San Diego State, if there's only 2 teams, only 2 of them that can go 7-2, that's your title game. If there's a 3-way tie, here's how the 3-way tie goes. Colorado loses, Arizona State and Iowa State would meet in a 3-way tie. If Arizona State loses in a 3-way tie, it'll be Iowa State and BYU. If Iowa State loses in a 3-way tie, Arizona State, BYU. Colorado needs BYU to lose, for Texas Tech to beat West Virginia, for Baylor to beat Kansas, and for Cincinnati to beat TCU to get in. If there was a 4-team tie, if all 4 of these teams lose this weekend, if all 4 of them lose, right? Arizona State, Iowa State, what currently tells you that Iowa State and Arizona State is the most likelihood of the Big 12 championship game. Nobody expect Iowa State to be anywhere close to it, and nobody expect Arizona State to come just walks right into the Big 12 and be right in the title game. What a showdown for that. And then BYU and Colorado, nobody expected them to be in it either. You got the one who's been in the conference but can never make it to a conference championship game in Iowa State, and then you have 3 first-comers all fighting for a spot in the Big 12 title game. Well, no Oklahoma State, terrible as hell. No Kansas State, because you found ways to lose games because you can't hold on to the football. Who else was in the talks for that? Utah went down here ever since, I think week 5 or something. Ever since they got in the conference play, they went downhill in Utah. Those are your 3 top teams that you're looking at right there. These 4 right here was not looked to be a part of this conversation. But guess where we at? Going into week 14 in rivalry week. This is where we are at. So whatever you're going to get, you're going to get a first-time Big 12 title game. Go figure. So whoever gets in is going to Arlington, Texas at AT&T Stadium for the Big 12 title and a playoff spot. So, yes, mainly these 4 teams we're going to be looking at, even though we have 9 teams that's right in the mix. Crazy how that is. All right. Big 10. Big 10 is very simple. Oregon's already in, so they'll be in Indianapolis next weekend at Lucas Oil Stadium fighting for the Big 10 title in their first year. This might be my only conference play that I got right. Actually, no, I actually have a shot in the SEC as well, surprisingly. ACC went out the door quickly. Big 12 went out the door quickly. But so far, the Big 10 has been good to me. So Oregon's already in it. Then you have Indiana, Ohio State, and Penn State all at 7-1. So how would this be determined? Well, it's very simple. Okay, Ohio State wins the game against Michigan, they're in. That simple effect. If Ohio State loses and Penn State wins, Penn State will be beating Oregon in Indianapolis. And for Indiana, they need both Ohio State and Penn State to lose while they win to face Oregon in Indianapolis. Very, very simple. Very simple, okay? Very simple. I say it's simple. Simple does not mean easy. Simple just means simple. Simply explained, maybe not easily done. And then the SEC. Well, Georgia is already in, surprisingly, because of all the chaos that took place with Florida knocking off Ole Miss, Texas A&M taking one on the chin to, I forgot who they played. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then Alabama taking one to the Texas A&M taking one to the chin of Auburn, and then Alabama taking one on the chin, literally on the chin, to Oklahoma. 24-3, Kellen, boy. 24-3. Are you kidding me? 24-3. You can only put up 3 points to Oklahoma. Oklahoma team. Man. I'm not gonna do it. So that leaves this. Georgia is in. You do see Tennessee in there, who is eliminated because all the tiebreakers favor Texas, Georgia, and Texas A&M. So pretty much they're out of it. So it's pretty much it goes like this. The winner of the Texas A&M game Saturday night faces Georgia in the Mercedes-Benz Domes up in Atlanta, Georgia. Like I said earlier, Tennessee pretty much was eliminated because all the tiebreakers favored Georgia, Texas, and Texas A&M. Unfortunately, that's how that went. So if you're a volunteer fan, I'm sorry, but none of the tiebreakers favor the Volunteers. So yeah, that pretty much hurt them. Nevertheless, Georgia back in it, and I did pick the Bulldogs to win the SEC. So I'm still alive. All right, still alive in that one. But that's where we are at, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to conference championship scenarios in the Power 4 conference.